And welcome back to part 8, and the last part of What If Naruto had a Resurrección, the Pantera, aka Grimjow edition. So this will probably go a little long, because I have to move around some parts. But we're going to keep going until we end this one out. Okay. The last time we had the invasion of Pain happen, Naruto would have handled Pain pretty much the same, if not a little easier, thanks to his Resurrección. And luckily, they still would have saved Konoha in terms of like the people involved. Naruto would have given his life. However, someone had asked that Obito should be able to move through the Kamui dimension, no problem. And in fact, I want to find that exact comment because it's one of my regulars. I think you misunderstood what I was saying when I said that. I think I also commented in the comment as it is, but or responded to the comment, but I just wanted to. There we go. Now, where was that comment and where? But okay, so there. And welcome. Oh God damn it, I hate that. Okay, so where was the comment again? Okay. As for Obito having a nerf Kamui, he can still access other dimensions as seen in Kage's. Okay, no. He cannot access other dimensions in his fight. The Kamui dimension is just the Kamui dimension. As seen as in the Kage fight. Well, that's because he had 6-pass chakra too. And honestly, he was. In fact, wait a minute. No, what? However, it takes more chakra for him to do so. Hold on. Can Obito go to other dimensions besides? I do not recall that being an ability of it. Can Obito go to other dimensions? All right. Using Kamui granting ability, he can travel between dimensions. Kamui allows him to teleport individuals, objects to and from his Kamui dimension, essentially a pocket dimension. This includes teleporting himself. While not a true other dimension in a sense, completely separate from the universe, the dimension is a separate plane of existence to different dimensions. There is anyone capable of space-time theoretically skilled. He borrowed Sakura's child, was able to open portals between Kage's dimension while looking for Sasuke. Okay, yeah, that's true. He did that, but I feel as though we are missing. But you're forgetting the 6-pass chakra that he had available. Like, I feel like that's a big omission to that. So and we know for a fact with the 6-pass chakra you could do that. So I feel like that's a really big omission to that argument. Like, if you had seen normal Kabuto do that, that's fine. But without 6-pass chakra added on there, I can't say that argument works. Because the only time we saw him do that was when he still had 6-pass chakra. So, yeah, it just. And by the way, someone also said about the backdraft thing, using the offensive ability of Kamui, sucking things in like that. I don't think that would work either, because the suction's all one way and it just closes up. There would be no backdraft. If the opening stayed open while doing that, that'd be one thing. But it doesn't. It closes up. So I don't think you get backdraft with a Kamui. Anyway, it would be at this point in the series, and then someone else said that Madara. Okay, so I forgot the whole Madara using Kamui with Susanoo without his eyes. So yes, Itachi. In fact, in theory, Itachi could kill Obito if done right. But someone else said that you definitely need 2 eyes for Mangekyo Sharingan. Again, I didn't find any actual confirmation on that. That's probably the case, but for the sake of a fun story, why not? Okay, now that that's all been taken care of, and if someone wants to argue points again, that's fine. And I might even respond to that comment again, even though I responded here. We'd move on from the Pain arc. The problem here now is that the Kage Summit arc doesn't happen Because, I mean, we have, now we killed Deidara in this, we've like straight out killed him in this series. But Obito's still around, Kisame's still around, Konan and Konan's still around, but she's not with the Akatsuki anymore. There really aren't a lot of Akatsuki left. That said, the issue here is that the Kage Summit was brought up by the Raikage because Sasuke had attacked the cloud to get Killer Bee. I mean, Kasame could still go after him, sure, and that still might be the play, but here's the problem that I had here. I've often say he probably still sends Kasame after Killer Bee, but the problem for that is Kasame would still get killed, especially if he's going into the cloud to get Killer Bee. Kasame's screwed. Raikage comes after him. Oh God. So does he? But Killer Bee really is the best option. Kisame really is the best option for Killer Bee. So it's a pick your poison kind of scenario here. What do you think he should do? Especially because Obito right now can't use Kamui. He can't traverse through the dimensions. So he's got to use Zetsu to contact Kisame, give orders. And now he can't even like move around. I personally feel he would still send Kasame after him, which means that Kasame does at least get killed by Raikage. He's still hiding in Samahara, waiting for the right moment. And this, I think, would still spark the Kage Summit arc. Now, Danzo would still probably go in place as the interim Kage. The difference here, though, is that Sasuke is very much in the leaf now, and he's certainly got a pardon going. Except I can see Danzo saying, "No, my first act is to reincarnate Sasuke Uchiha." I was like, "What?" But sorry, he was essential in helping the village. No, it's like no, Naruto Uzumaki saved the village. No, Sasuke is still a wanted criminal. And now, that said, however, we know there would still be some ninja around who knew that Tsunade had given him a pardon if he succeeded. Or at least given him as much of a pardon as she could. And so, when the news that he's getting locked up again comes about, and Sasuke is definitely not happy with this, and so, but Hokage is so Sasuke is like, the Hokage gave me a pardon for helping. I had no reason to be against the leaf, and yet you still abandoned us to begin with, traitor. And so, Naruto steps in between them, and just says, no, he's not going anywhere. If he did his part, he deserves to get what was promised to him. Now, is Danzo there? No, there's probably like Root Ninja or Anbu there. It's like, I'm sorry, we are only doing what the Hokage ordered. The Hokage, Lace and I didn't order this. No, Danzo is acting sixth Hokage as of right now. What? And Kakashi probably uses that conniving snake. To which Naruto probably decides, I'm going to go talk to the Hokage. I'm afraid you can't. And then Naruto just kind of like flexes a little bit. It's like, you really want to try me right now? Like, partial resurrection happens without even getting his sword. It's like, It's like, and so Danzo, before he leaves, what's this I heard about you? What's this? The Nine Tails. What did you call me? Forgive me, Naruto. That's the thing. Naruto never once interacted with Danzo in the original series. I mean, you know what I mean, the original Shippuden era. So this is their first time meeting. I don't know who the hell you think you are, but if Sasuke did what he was promised, you have no right. And you don't get just to overturn someone's pardon just because you're the guy in charge now. I'm the Hokage, right now I'm the acting Hokage, Brad, and soon to be the permanent Hokage. I can do what I desire, as long as I see it fit for the village. And to which Naruto says, yeah, and I'm not going to allow... And to which Naruto, he does pick up on it. What do you mean soon to be actual Hokage? No, so Lady Tsunade's just asleep. Perhaps it's just out cold right now. Once she recovers, she'll be. You're out of here. And he kind of smiles. Yes, that would be the case. But but who knows when that could happen? It could take hours, days, weeks, months. Maybe she never wakes up again. And to which Naruto just kind of glares at him. Is that a threat? And it's like, I'm just stating the facts, boy. You are the nine-tailed fox. You should know more than anything about threats, being the Nine-Tails, after all. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. I'm not the Nine-Tails. No, of course not. You're just the container for the beast. No, Sasuke will remain incarcerated until I see fit. Although I say, and he's maybe thinking perhaps I can manipulate the Nine-Tails for the sake of his friend. But perhaps we can discuss it at another point in time. Now I'm gonna lock him away. And so Sasuke says, no, we're gonna fix this out. As soon as Tsunade wakes up, we are fixing this. It's like, sure. It's like, you better, because I really don't like. I really want to kill that guy right now. And like everyone's like, yeah, we don't disagree. And so Danzo goes. Now Sasuke does not obviously interrupt the summit, and neither does Obito. The only way I could see him effectively using Kamui right now, again, because he doesn't have 6th path chakra, so I cannot justify him going through other dimensions, is maybe through like coating himself and like perhaps he wears a white Zetsu, because he's got multiple white Zetsu clones, and just wears it and uses like an armor and just takes the hit of the Amaterasu curling in the dimension. Like every once in a while, he's still testing the dimension out a little bit, just to see like, and then maybe at one point he's like, wait a minute, nothing, and just it's still too hot in there. But yeah, maybe instead he sends Zetsu out as the messenger to begin with. And so he still manages to relay the message that, oh yeah, we're going to war. Unfortunately, Danzo still gets found out by Aoi with the Byakugan, and still goes on the run. This is later. And so basically, this means that when this information is found out, his decision for Sasuke is overturned, because it's clear he was up to no good. Now, the big difference here, though, is he's still got his 2 associates, Fu and Tonori, or Toneri, either way, or Tori, the Aburame and the Yamanaka. And there's no Sasuke to try to kill him here, and Obito can't Kamui right now. So, what happens here? What happens with Danzo? He's got to run, and he can't go back to the village. So, I've often said I think he maybe goes to Orochimaru, because he was in contact with Orochimaru, and he's more than willing to cooperate with him if it's for its own benefit. And so he ultimately does, through search, location, all that, and through some clever deduction, I think lets the word through the grapevine reach around that Orochimaru, I'm here. And eventually this leads to Orochimaru and Kabuto meeting up with Danzo and his associates. Danzo, to what do I owe the unexpected pleasure? You know exactly why I'm here, Orochimaru. I see your lofty aspirations for Kage fall to the wayside. Oh, how unfortunate, Danzo. Then again, it is a fool's errand, after all. So, but that still does not answer the question how you found me and what you want. How I found you is irrelevant. I've got several decades on you, not whippersnapper, but child. Don't think just because you possess a level of immortality doesn't mean I still don't have my means of finding you. As for what I desire, and what you want, or what desire. My desire is for us to both help each other. In what by telling what? You want the boy, Sasuke Uchiha, do you not? That's true. But unfortunately, it'll be another 3 years before I could take another body. Still, I have him currently reincarcerated back in the Leaf Village. Yes, but and to which Kabuto says, true. But, and he's like doing the glass thing. But we both know that with the information about your little stunt at the Kage summit, that you're very likely your Order was probably revoked. You're not the only one with ears, Danzo. but I could still give him to you. In exchange, though, in exchange for a new alliance. The Leaf Village would be yours to access at will, whenever you desire. Everything at your disposal. I could offer you anything, not just the Uchiha, the Hyuga, Aburame, any techniques of the Leaf that you desire. Intriguing. Throwing your ninja away simply so you could be the one in charge. You're a cold man, Danzo. One of the reasons we work so well together. Still, however, it would not be easy. Not easy, especially if the word around is true that war is being declared. Perhaps. But together we might be able to do something about that. No, and so let's chat. Now, it's at this point then a lot of problems a lot of deviations really start to change. Obviously, the White Zetsu army would be the main component. Orochimaru, Kabuto, and Danzo really don't have a stake in the war. They're going to sit back and watch things happen. Also, Naruto wants the Rinnegan, but there's no way he can just randomly go and get the Rinnegan now. He can't use his Kamui in combat at all, not let alone for travel. So, well, that's not entirely true. He can actually still suck things into his Kamui world. So he can still use it from an offensive capability because he can still pop people in there. So his Kamui is not completely worthless. He just can't use the intangibility or travel aspects of it, which is unfortunate because those are the strongest aspects of it. But from an offensive point of view, he could still use it. He just can't travel it, which means him trying to go... Now, he could still... Ninjas can still fast travel. He can still get to the rain if he wanted to. But would he want to? Because honestly, apart from using Izanagi, he's going to get killed. Like Konan is going to straight out kill his ass. He cannot, in fact, honestly, he's in a much worse circumstance here than he was in the original, because he was still letting the attacks through his body for a while. Here, he doesn't get that. He can maybe absorb them into his Kamui dimension, but his body's still vulnerable. There's only so much he can do. So if he goes for, tries to fight Konan, I think he would ultimately succeed, but he's going to get a lot more jacked up in this version. Fortunately, he's got the White Zetsu cells, and he can use Izanagi that one time. So, yeah, ultimately, so he does still take Nagato's eyes, still implants them in at least one in his empty socket. See, he shouldn't be able to have access to the tail beasts, at least in in an Edo form. Well, I mean, he does have access to them. He just, he doesn't actually even have the Eight-Tails chakra. In this version, he didn't even get a hint of the Eight-Tails chakra, so he can't even turn into the pseudo or partial six-pass transformation, which again, we have never seen him go to another dimension in base form, to the best of my knowledge. That was while he still had six-pass chakra in him. So, and we know six-pass chakra allows for a lot of dimensional travel depending on the ability. So if anything, that may have just strengthened his Kamui to be able to go to alternate dimensions. That seems plausible to me, but not in his base form. So does he still access, say, the Edo or the tail beasts? Honestly, I don't think he does. He has them on call to use, and we know he was still able to manipulate just the tail beast as a whole. But I think he'd have to summon the Geto statue and basically throw up the tail beast to do that. Otherwise, yeah, he's not traveling around with six paths. But I think this does at least mean he can utilize the six paths abilities a bit more effectively. Though, to be fair, we never really see him use those either, now I think about that. He certainly doesn't use the Deva path. He doesn't use the Azura path. He doesn't use the Naraka path. I guess you could say he's technically using the animal path, but not really. He doesn't use the human. He has the Rinnegan, yes, but he never actually utilizes it. Maybe he can't. I mean, it's a legit question. I'm just blanking on if we ever actually saw him use any ability. I don't think he ever used the Preda path. maybe he used the Debit Path like once, but I'm just blanking. I don't recall him ever using an ability of the Rinnegan, even though despite the fact he fucking had one. It's like, what was the point otherwise, except for, hey, look at all the extra vision I got. And controlling to get a mass statue, obviously. That was probably the big thing, controlling the tail beasts and all that. So anyway, that being said, we switch over to the war arc, or the war side of things, where the Naruto side of things, where Naruto, Sasuke gets let out of prison with Tsunade waking up. And she apologizes for Danzo. I was like, whatever, fine. They basically have the same issue here. Sasuke is, dragged out on the battlefield. But the difference is they're just fighting white Zetsus. So, yeah, they're going to be doing some sneaky shit, but they should be fine. Naruto would still ultimately gain more control over Kurama's chakra, gains the KCM1 form. Now, mind you, his attitude is still, because he's a bit more aggressive, there's probably more darkness in him, so it's a little harder for him to overcome. And watching the Naruto's like going to Pantera and all that together, just clash, that'd be pretty fun. Then you'd obviously get Naruto fighting Kurama. And it's like, great Pantera! Ah! And you sage mode, sage art, great Rasen Seru, or Raseru, or Sarah, just super blast, Descara, or Descaron, sorry, just slashing Kurama, just boom, firing off every attack he can. That'd be pretty epic. Just boom, they clash, but Kurama's just like, ugh. Ultimately, Kushina shows up, says she's proud of him. It's like, you're wielding that sword better than I ever could. Wait, you had the sword? How do you think I got the name Bloody Red Habanero of the Leaf? And she just kind of laughs it off. So eventually Naruto joins the fight. I don't think they attack the island turtle, really, because there's no real reason. They're not fighting with Obito. This leads ultimately to Naruto just clashing with Obito. And unfortunately, without Kamui, he's going to lose that fight. Like, even if he's using weaker versions of the six paths, he's losing that fight. And honestly, the question is, the Rin Rebirth. So we know that was the way Madara was going to come back, but his body's long gone? Does the Rin Rebirth literally restore a body from nothing? Because with all the people in Konoha when Nagato used it, they all had bodies left. And with the Edos, they had an Edo body there. So how is that supposed to work? Because Madara's body is probably now decayed at this point. So, yeah, once again, I asked the question, how is that supposed to work? Either way, like, Black Zetsu would probably have to overwhelm Obito, because he can't even take a pseudo six path form. There isn't even a bit of beast chakra in that statue. I mean, he could still probably put the chakra in him, and it would, like, theoretically do something, like make him almost six path-ish, but just not quite. Now, mind you, he couldn't even do that. I mean, yeah, he could do that, but he can't even activate the Ten Tails, because that's how he became the pseudo six path Jinchuriki, or six paths That's how he became six paths Obito, or Jubito as was, because he absorbed the Ten Tails, which wasn't even fully manifested. And he can't even do that here, so at best, he could just absorb a lot of the tail beasts into him and hope for the best. But Naruto still actually outranks him in terms of chakra power, so they would be clashing like madmen, with Naruto ultimately beating him, and maybe not either saving him or just obliterating him outright. If Obito is saved, I guess Black Zetsu tries the Rin Rebirth again. Maybe it just manifests the body. It just manifests a brand new body, or maybe the body of the host becomes the body of the original person. Maybe, but it would bring Madara back without his Rinnegan. So there's that first and foremost. And then there's still no tail, like, he still can't become Jubidara because there's no 8 tails in there. So this fight gets really convoluted really quick. I ultimately don't think Kaguya just shows up. Kaguya doesn't appear. I just flat out believe that. Madara is still a menace on the battlefield if he does show up. But I think Madara would ultimately fall. I think. But you see, once I got here, it was very like convoluted of like how the whole scenario goes down. Honestly, Madara probably is not the final villain here. And Sasuke and Naruto don't really get a 6-path boost because there's really not a reason to get a 6-path boost. They now, that being said, them accessing the Geto statue would not be easy because that's the only way to be able to save these tail beasts right now is to access that. And Naruto probably made a promise to do that still for Son Goku, who, it's probably still being manipulated, and like the tail beasts were still being used to fight Naruto and Killer Bee. And so, they know that with they most likely what would happen. This is just my interpretation of these scenarios. Is that together Naruto and Sasuke using as much power as they can, because Sasuke still gets the Susanoo Eternal Mangekyo in one eye that we have in this version, and Curse Mark that he's adding on to that. They ultimately do kill Madara. Like they skewer him probably with like an Amaterasu sword or something like that, and Madara's body's like, yeah. And now Madara does have Rinnegan ability. We know he can use those Rinnegan abilities, to be fair. So maybe like using Amaterasu absorbs the Predapath. This all, however, allows Naruto just to come in with his Resurrection, just cut his throat, and like actually take his out. Bitch. It's like, how? And obviously the Zetsu's like, no, mother, no, this isn't how it's supposed to go. We need the 8 tails. Honestly, the 8 tails is, and there's no 9 tails chakra. I just realized there's no 9 tails chakra in there either because Kinkaku and Ginkaku weren't resurrected. So yeah, we need them. No, you took it, and like I could see them literally possessing Madara's like walking corpse and just kind of like I would think this. Black Zetsu's head just pours out of Madara's body as he possesses it. Still has pretty much all the chakra, and then it's like, no, this is not how it's supposed to go. And Naruto's like, we need the Rinnegan to free the tail beast. Right, get that head. And so it belongs to us. And so they're fighting over it and the eyes in the head. Naruto, however, comes in again. He's in his Resurrection form, along with Kurama's chakra, and just he Seros the body out of existence this time, along with actually he probably uses a combination of Tail Beast Bomb with Sero or Descaron with Tail Beast Bombs. Yeah, I'm just thinking this shit up on the fly now. Just poof, it just annihilates him. And so they pluck the eyes out. They've got it, and they have to basically figure out how to utilize this. How do we make this work? And so they have to ask this question to themselves and like, okay, someone's got to basically have the eye put in them. And Kurama, this is where Kurama probably chimes in. It's like, those eyes, those are my father's eyes. Brett, do you really think you could handle it? I mean, we have no choice. Even with me, that would be an immense toll. And the Rinnegan wouldn't be natural. You would no longer be able to deactivate your eyes. Now, Naruto has enough chakra, that's not a big issue. But it still begs the question on Naruto, are you going to do that? And I think he looks at Sasuke as like, no, I don't know if I can bear this burden on my own. Like, this is a lot. Add on to the fact that Sasuke is also just wondering, it's like, well, then what do we want to free the tail beast, so how are we supposed to do that? And Naruto asks, okay, what if we split the difference? I take one eye, you take the other. You're sure about that? Look, I don't know how powerful this is going to be, or if this is going to even work. But and Kurama says, it'll work, Brett. You're an Uzumaki. You've got the chakra and the stamina for it. And he's an Uchiha. It should work, although I don't feel comfortable giving an eye to the Uchiha. This will be after the General War. Like, the Zetsus are killed, and they still got to deal with the Geto statue. So, Tsunade does the surgery. It would be quick and easy, like we saw with Rin. And she believes beyond Rin. So, probably quick and easy. The eye gets implanted in both Sasuke and Naruto, which then leads to them both meeting Hagoromo. And because they're not on death's door, I could actually see this being like a joint plane thing where they're both boop, boop, like, what? Where the hell are we? So, the time has finally come, has it? I don't know what his voice sounds like, by the way. I can't remember the dub. The time has finally come, has it? And they see us, and Kurama's like, Falter? Ah, Kurama, my boy, look how big you've gotten. Oh, it's so good to see you. So good to see you after all this time. Who are you? Show some respect, boy. This is the Sage of Six Paths, the man whose eyes belong to you now. The creator of all your ninja, the creator of your ninja world. Wait, well then what the hell are we doing? How the hell are we, what's going on? So, allow me to explain. He explains the reincarnations of Asura and Indra, his sons, and that in this generation, this cycle, that's you. Because the Rinnegan can only be awoken by someone who possesses the chakra of both. When you basically implanted the chakra, you had the chakra of both. You implanted that chakra into your body. This was pretty much the message I needed to know or hear to come meet with you and decide your fates. And so while they're recovering for this, and basically, yes, they're going to get their 6 pass upgrades. The Danzo, Orochimaru, and Kabuto show up at the village, and probably is it Toneri? I know it's Fu was the one guy, but Toneri was it? Either way, she was like, now then, you remember our agreement? Yes, don't worry, Danzo, it should be fine. Now then, let's see what the leaf has to offer us this time. Summoning Jutsu! And just summons the giant snakes. Wreak havoc on this village. And so Orochimaru is there. He's actually not there. He's probably using a clone because, like, I'm not trusting Danzo 100%. Kabuto is aiding as well. Again, they're kind of actually lingering in the back. He's probably using some sort of, like, replication jutsu, clone jutsu. It's a shadow clone, so it'd probably have a lot of chakra. And so Danzo is here. And so the Hokage, as Naruto and Sasuke are recovering, they're probably like, and Tsunade even knows they shouldn't be out this long. I mean, for everything I tell, the transplant was a success. By the by, in their case, I think they could manually activate and deactivate it, so it's not that big an issue. But they didn't know that. And so Danzo is here, and Orochimaru has probably amped him to a certain degree. Like, we know he had access to first Hokage DNA. That's how he created Yamato. That's how he grafted actually created Shinochia. There was levels of Hashirama DNA involved in that. Unfortunately, he was just never able to replicate wood release for himself until he absorbed a white Zetsu, which he doesn't have here. So this Orochimaru, despite being powerful, is actually the weakest interpretation we'd have of Orochimaru at this version of the story. And so Tsunade, like the Kakashi shows up. Kakashi, what a wonderful surprise. Surprise. Unfortunately, I'm not here to play with you. We're here. And Danzo, you slippery snake. I told you, the Hokage, I will be the Hokage. This village is too weak, has been too weak for far too long. I will not allow it to fall to the wayside anymore. And so he just reveals, he's just going all out. But he can probably actually use straight out wood release here. Just wood ninja, deep forest emergence. It's like, what? And wood starting to come out. Yamato tries to clash with him, but Danzo just frankly has more going on, so it overwhelms him. Kakashi comes in, but Orochimaru's like, going somewhere, Kakashi. Kakashi comes in. Lightning Braid Tracking Hound comes out, and they're clashing it out for a little bit. Meanwhile, Shizune reclashes with Kabuto again. He won't be like last time. This time, I'm making sure you're dead on the ground. By all means, you're welcome to try that, Lady Miss Shizune. And so they're clashing once more. So you get, Danzo now, to be fair, Danzo's also not stupid. He doesn't think he could take everyone on, but he's also probably also using clone jutsus as well. So the Danzo that has probably shown up is also like a wood clone he's created that's utilizing jutsu. He's not like, for example, using wind jutsu, but wood jutsu, sure. Meanwhile, he's using his Sharingan, his abilities to locate where Sasuke, Tsunade, and Naruto are. Tsunade eventually steps on Danzo, say, I have no time for you, Lady Hokage, and just uses Koto Akatsu, uses not Kamui, but Koto Akatsu Kame on her. And he was like, no, go to... Now, he probably doesn't use that, but he probably tries to use Sharingan Genjutsu on her. Now, it's debatable or not whether or not Tsunade is immune to Genjutsu. She's definitely not immune to something like Infinite Tsukeyome. But low-level Genjutsu, because of the way her chakra control is she probably is immune to. It doesn't really affect her. A high-level Sharingan Genjutsu, though, would be something that it doesn't immediately have a counter for. She needs to actually just break herself out of it, which then causes Danzo to try to come in with his blade, with kunai, with wind chakra on it, only for it to be quickly just snuffed out. So, as standing there are Naruto and Sasuke ready to go. And honestly, I could see, because he's got one Sharingan or Rinnegan, the other eye, I think his other eye awakens to the Rin Sharingan in this version. So he does, in fact, have two Rinnegan. And Naruto and him are just like, yeah, no. It's like, so now you will truly understand what is needed. Now you'll understand, Sasuke Uchiha, Naruto Uzumaki, why this compassion is weak. You will fall, you will be at my knees, and you will be at my mercy. You will be my instruments for this new Konoha that will come under my reign. And so, because again, Orochimaru probably amped him while they were away, he can try to use Koto Akatsu Kami again, but it's just Naruto and him just neg it, just like, nope. And then he tries to get away. It fails miserably. And Danzo ultimately just gets his teeth kicked in. Also, Orochimaru ends up getting a combination of Lightning Blade and Dynamic Entry. But turns out to be a clone, as Orochimaru and Kabuto were watching from the sidelines the whole time. Like, so it's not the time yet, is it? No, not Pierce. So it looks like Sasuke's grown even stronger. I'm not even sure. Now, this is a good question. Straight out. The Predapath. The curse mark is just chakra. I mean, it's Orochimaru's essence and all that, but it is could the Predapath absorb a curse mark if it's already, like, if Sasuke has the Predapath and he has the curse mark, could he absorb the curse mark in with his Predapath? I mean, it's corrupted curse nature energy. So, I mean, but it's corrupted, and it shouldn't turn him into stone like real major energy would. I'm not sure. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. So, ultimately, yeah, Danzo is at minimum defeated, but yeah, he's probably giving his own life before he's taken alive. Orochimaru comes like, it's all right. There's time, Kabuto. All the time in the world. By the way, I wonder if it's possible for Orochimaru to teach that soul transfer jutsu to like Kabuto or something like that. I mean, it's a technique he picked up. It's unique to only him, but is it teachable? Either way, the series comes to kind of a dull roar end. Like, nothing major would come of this. The last movie would happen, Naruto would probably beat Toneri pretty hard. You add Resurrección with Six Pass Chakra and Kurama on there, plus a Rinnegan in his eye. Oh yeah, he'd probably whoop his ass. Him and Hinata would get together. Sasuke and Sakura would get together. Sasuke never tries to like go off the rails for his clan because no one ever told him. Nobody ever told you what happened to your father. But no one ever told him that, so he doesn't really seek that level of revenge. Either way, that's the end of this particular series of What Ifs. Join us on Wednesday when we start the Naruto Zanpakuto series. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.